live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's another episode of Venture Maidens. Oh boy. I'm so happy to be here. Happy to see you all and ready to play some fucking D&D. How about you all? Ready to play some fucking
Hell
D&D?
yeah.
Yeah.
Always ready.
Yeah. Yes. Well, on that note, hey, everybody, we're the Venture Maidens. We're in D&D Actual Play 5th Edition stream that converts to a podcast. We're playing a homebrew campaign in a homebrew setting called The Plains, which is going to be detailed in the Venture Maidens campaign guide, which the community PDF copy of is coming out in just a couple of weeks here. So we're looking at first week of June, mid-June, and we'll be sending out some sweet digital copies so you can learn about our world and use all of its elements at your own table. So stoked for that. Yeah. I should also say, this is a very adult stream, very mature. We obviously swear. I did a swear in the first 30 seconds. You can also, in general, we have content warnings about themes like body horror is a big one. Graphic fantasy violence is a big one. For this episode in particular, we don't have any content warnings that are expected, but it is a mature stream, so be prepared. Thank you, everybody. Congrats on the new job. Yes, thank you. It's been wonderful working at Cobalt Press for the last 2 weeks. Yeah. Shit, did I miss anything? Was that it? Yeah. No, good.
I think that's everything.
All right. I think I did it. Cool. Well,
Nice
fuck yeah.
intros.
Let's just dive in. Hey, everybody. My name is Celeste Gonowich, and tonight I'm going to be your dungeon master.
Hello, I'm Katie, and I'm going to be playing Luveri Sath, your drow rogue.
Hello there, I'm Nassim, and I'm playing your half-orc fighter, Fitonia Silvertail.
And I'm Sage.
Your quiet bard.
And tonight I will be your babbling bard, Aoife Flannery.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. We're going to have a very special and interesting episode tonight. We're going to be messing with some mechanics that don't really get used a lot at the game table. We're going to be exploring some downtime. Our characters have a lot to do because they have a quest that they have embarked upon. So I guess we should start with that recap and set the stage for this episode here. So, dear maidens, tell me what happened last time on Venture Maidens.
You scarred us for life.
It wasn't the first time, and it will not be the last.
Certainly not the last. We began in the chicken hut right after we had finished our bonding ritual, and we had a bit of time to collect ourselves and relax and do some activities around the house of whatever we wanted to get done. Gordon very sassily did Tony's laundry at Tony's request.
God.
Aoife wrote a letter to her best friend Erasne, and Lou made us snacks. And then
Mom life.
You started a war, Tony. House wars with Gordon.
I don't know if I started it, honestly.
Oh.
it
Maybe
wasn't
fair.
always will be. For as long as Gordon lives.
Is trapped, is sealed here.
Whoa.
Yeah. Lives. Your roommate.
And so then after that, we made our way to go and meet the Weird Sisters because they were calling in their favor from Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And so we made our way to the wilds and slipped into the space of the in-between, which was all very, very odd. Yeah.
Yeah. The in-between is that prototypical when you think of the Fae, and distance and time and space are weird, and that's the in-between.
We got to, is it the Heavenly Courts realm? Heavenly?
Yeah, the
Is that the right one?
Demesne.
Okay.
You learned a little bit about Demesnes. Does anyone want to summarize what those were? Ooh, and Steam got the notebook
So
out.
basically
Actually
Oh,
took notes.
shit.
And
Oh, hell yeah.
Disney Heavenly Court Fae Island that's super misty and gray with broken statues everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we were wandering around for a little bit, and then this statuesque person holding up like one of those, whatever they called, briefs or something, in like a temple of worship, it looked like. Spoke
like
to us
Greek.
and tried to
Yeah.
tried to get us to make a deal, a small little favor, in order to find our way. We said, we'll try first on our own.
Yeah.
And that's when we met our headless, or I mean, not our headless,
Our bodiless.
bodiless,
Mhm.
Bodiless head.
the bust, the bust of that lady, who said that if we picked her up and took her around with us, she would tell us where to go, which we agreed to, and led us to the sisters where we saw, well, only one sister, Hecate. And should I keep going?
Yeah, man.
Use those notes,
Bring it
girl.
home. I'm proud
I
of
was
you.
very efficient this time.
I'm proud
There's
of
a whole ass
you.
page here.
Hell yeah.
Okay, we found Hecate sitting alone in the glass dome. It was very pretty. She was like having her own little tea time, I think. And then just asked us for payment for one of the big favors that I owe her. And that favor was to go find the book, the Codex, the Enigma Codex, which we didn't really get any more information out of her as to what that is or why she wants it.
Nope. She was very cagey about it.
Did say that, yeah, we need it. We have a deadline of 3 weeks, and we will probably find the book with Penny.
So the deadline was.
She needs it. It
4
was.
weeks.
It was like
by the next full moon, which is about 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay.
In your mortal time.
And then that was it, I think, with Hecate. And then we were like, all right, done deal. We'll get that book to you. Well, Lou had reservations about it, but I mean, ultimately, we decided we have to do this first, and then we'll worry about it later.
Oh no, this is fun.
And then we headed our way back to our chicken house with the statue, brought her with us, and as we set foot on land and tried to set her free, discovered that there was some sort of enchantment on the head that was released once we made it back into the normal realm. And it was just a severed head, a dead one,
a dead severed head. Yes,
just to be clear.
Listen, this is a world of magic. It doesn't have to be both.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're not one and the same.
After we crossed the river, which had the ferryman that brought us back and forth into the Demesne, and this one being for the Heavenly Court, and how each of the courts has their own Demesne, which is like this little pocket plane in which they have like complete control. Over.
Yep.
And
so
very much matches their like aesthetic.
Yes. So that island that you all traveled to was one little corner, right, of the Heavenly Court Demesne. So these weird sisters have their own corner of the realm, and also these Demesnes are strange because they're not like geometrically or geographically next to each other. So you can have pockets of a Demesne all throughout the wilds. So reaching them is always interesting, and you can just stumble into them at just the inopportune moments as you travel through. But yeah, great recap, everybody. That was great. Nassim, take a point of inspiration for your note taking. That fucking rocks. Take a point.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, cool. All right, we ready to dive in to today? Okay, cool. So yeah, that is where we are picking up. At the end of last episode, you had traveled to this mist-shrouded isle, this corner of the Heavenly Court Demesne, where the weird sisters dwell. You had parlayed with them. They had given you their terms. You have to go find this book, the Enigma Codex, and you must bring it back to Hecate before the next full moon, which is about 4 weeks of time. She told you that the book is in the possession of an archfey by the name of Penny. You know the name of the book. It's called the Enigma Codex. And Hecate had said she has no idea where this archfey is, but she knows that the book will be with her. So your task, 1, first you have to find where the hell this archfey is. 2, once you know that, you have to go there and somehow get this archfey to give you this book. And 3, once you have the book, you need to safely return to Hecate in the Heavenly Court Demesne and hand it off. And you must do this all by the next full moon. Otherwise, Tony, who knows what will happen if you fail to,
Again, this is the church of we act first and think about it later.
Listen, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. That's the rule.
That's it. That's how we
that's
like
it.
to live.
Yeah, so that is the mission that was laid out before you. You're like, oh, okay. And somewhere along the way, yes, you did have this woman, this marble statue woman who didn't seem to know what was going on, had forgotten a lot, and that's right where we're picking up. You had just gotten back to the other side of the shore, out of the Heavenly Court Demesne, pulled this head out of the bag that you had promised to help, and discovered her dead remains. So from there, luckily, you were all pretty close to the chicken hut when you left. Initially, you were able to park it just outside of the Demesne and then step in, because Rook before had not wanted to actually bring the house into the Demesne, which is really like under the control of the Fae of the court. So who knows what would have happened if you had brought the house in. So it's just a short walk back to the hut. Is there anything that's happening on the way? I know you had buried the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have her feel at peace.
Yeah. She really seemed to like this was the right thing. She just wanted to get off that island, and who knows how long she was there in that form.
I mean, nothing really in particular that Lou wants to do. You just see after we know what the assignment is now, she's just very quiet and focused on thinking, okay, what do we do next? What am I going to do to help get us to where we need to be so this doesn't all end really badly?
Right. Yeah. I assume it's probably a pretty solemn walk as you all head back to the hut, having seen what you just did and realizing the implications of it. I mean, who knows how that woman ended up the way she did, but she was on that island that belongs to the Weird Sisters. Did they have something to do with it? Who knows? But now you're working
Probably.
with them. So, that's a little feeling as you walk in silence and you make your way back to the hut. And Rook hops up, opens up the door, and you can all file inside. And she looks around and says, okay, so we've got to find this book. I guess. Do you all have any bright ideas? I mean, there's people in Coven who might know where this archfey is. I have never heard of her, to be honest, so I don't really know.
I mean, given the kind of people that reside there and pass through there, I think they've seen a good portion of, or, a wide variety of people, I should say. So I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, the witches on the council probably know something. They keep tabs on all kinds of Fae court activities, and I mean, that's why they put out the bounties, right? Because they don't want Fae causing trouble, and Archfae are the definition of trouble. So I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think we have any other option than Coven, considering we have literally no idea where to start. So research first, and then hopefully we have enough time to get to where we end up needing to be.
Yeah, that's doable in a month, right?
How far are we from
Hopefully.
Coven? How long will it take us to get there?
Oh, only a couple hours.
All right.
God, I love our house.
Yeah, time is much time is strange in the wilds. There really isn't a general set of time. So the house can move much more quickly in the wilds than it can anywhere else because time doesn't really exist there, right? So it can just jump from place to place. Whereas you traveling in the mortal realm, where there are laws of time and gravity and space, those natural laws don't apply to the wilds. There's a whole different set of laws. So if you can find the location of this archway, you can get there really quickly. I mean, assuming that she lets you and there aren't other barriers to getting there. But I think Rook did mention last time that Archfey they're very dangerous because the world changes around them wherever they go. They tap into the environmental magic that subsists under all of the wilds. So the world shapes around them whether they like it to or not. So usually they have to build these sanctums, these kind of walls to bury themselves in and trap their power inside. Otherwise the world would absolutely fall apart around them. So they usually have to, cloister themselves.
Yeah, and Rook had mentioned that they exist completely outside of the court system.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, so there's like the in-between, which is all the land that isn't claimed by any Fae, right? This is where wild Fae live, or Fae without any association to the courts. That's most of the wilds. And then there are the Demesnes, which are owned by each of the courts, so chunks of land that are taken over by each court. And then there are things called dwellings, which are those cordoned off little kingdoms where the Archfey live, where basically they have a certain amount of space and they have to build magical barriers to keep themselves contained and to keep everybody else out. So those are the three types of like landscapes you find in the wilds.
Neat. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's go read some books.
Books! Rook does not seem excited about books. Nerd shit.
To the library!
Ew. Gross. Rook's like, I don't even know if they have a library. I've never checked. Why would I? Gordon, go back to Coven, she says half-heartedly, and she seems to be thinking about something, and she's like, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'll talk to you all in a bit.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Mm-hmm. She mumbles and is already halfway up the steps when the house stops.
Yeah, I think Tony's gonna probably bounce right away too and just like head to her room and start playing her guitar.
Yeah, it's been a stressful day so far, and it's really only been a couple hours. So you got back into the wilds when it was around afternoon-ish, and time doesn't work the same in the wilds, but for you all, you feel the passing of time. It's getting into early evening for you all, so yeah. You'll be in Coven very shortly. You know the way in. So do you all want to try and spend the night in the house and get started in the morning, or just head right on in to Coven? Tandy has extended an indefinite offer if you ever want to stay in the Witch's Brew to stay in Coven. You're certainly welcome. Oh, actually, speaking of Tandy, I forgot. We have a letter that we're actually going to do at the beginning. Yes. So when you all got in to the house and, you know, you put down your stuff and you're settling in, you see that there is a little, like, baby blue envelope that has been slid under the door, and it's just covered in stickers. Like little plant stickers and little animal stickers and just really cute, like, Lisa Frank stickers lying on the ground. There is no, like, from or to on it, but it is a very cute little envelope lying on the ground.
Aoife will pick it up and read it.
Yeah.
Hey, Marnie, Sorsha, and Franny. We sure have missed having you around the Witch's Brew the last few days. Hope you didn't get eaten by a troll or anything like that. If you didn't get eaten or maimed, I'd love... I'd love if you drop by soon. We've had some nice weather lately, and watching Marnie do all this hard work on the cart has inspired me to think about working on something of my own. I'm opening up the old community garden behind the tavern, and I thought it would be super fun if you wanted to grow herbs or food back there or whatever. The previous owner had a lot of great stuff planted there, so if you can dodge the feral squirrels and feral weeds, you might even find some rare magical plants or spices. Anyhow, come by and check it out and bring a machete. Oh, this is Tandy, by the way. Kisses!
Beautiful.
Oh, the last little note on there.
The letter is not signed, but there is a small baggie taped to the paper. It is filled with leaves that emit an intensely dank odor.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yum.
Nice.
Tony checks out the leaves and see if they're like a good state where they've been cut or if they've been fallen off naturally to like try and propagate them.
Yeah, it looks like somebody has definitely taken the effort to pull them off of a plant and then chop them into little pieces. You're like, maybe like a spice or tea or something else in this baggie. They're fresh.
Yeah. I'm gonna get some soil just outside the house and quickly try to propagate them because I mean her mom grew tea plants, so I think based on that she'll figure out
What
from
the hell this
memory
is.
how to
Yeah.
put it together.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you can have any kind of anything you want in your room. So what is this like plant setup actually that Tony's got going on? Because I think you have a couple of plants now. Because when you first walked into the room, there were plants that were, just on the verge of needing care and stuff. So what's Tony's little garden situation for the house?
For the whole house?
Yeah, well, do you have like window boxes or an area in your room or like starting a little greenhouse or what's your
The room I've pictured, it has a lot of light in it, and it's like the bed is on either side has these two like massive to ceiling windows, and then like off to the side there's sort of like a lifted raised like seating area that's like a curved couch or sofa or sit-in sofa, whatever the hell, and then like a nice curved window around that, and that's on every window ledge. It's just like full of new plants that she's picked up around like whether it was like underground on our first mission or in the traveling to Coven in the wilds. There's just like little cuttings here and there, and from the plants within the room already, just overpopulating the window area.
Yeah, so you immediately, you take whatever the hell these herbs are, seeds, leaves, no idea. There's no label or anything. It's just a little baggie that's been taped on instead of a name. And yeah, you can absolutely set them up, in the sun. And who knows what you're gonna get.
Fun.
Yay! Mystery plants. Love it. Sweet. So Tony is planting and chilling. Lou, what are you up to?
Lou's doing what she always does when she's sad/stressed. So she's just gonna just smile like half-heartedly at everyone and just kind of like throw a thumb towards the kitchen and start making a stock because those take a long time. And now as she's chopping everything up, she's taking all the odds and ends and throwing them into that pot that we got from the sewers.
Yeah, your little compost slime pot. Are you just like setting it up? I have like a little compost pail in my house right by the sink. I imagine, is it the same kind of?
Yeah, literally, it's just right there. She kind of moves it so she can like scoot stuff into it easily. And she's like thinking about like, you need to start like imagining like really custom cabinetry where you just pull it out and you can scooch it in.
Oh, gorgeous.
Nice.
Gorgeous.
Nice.
Yeah. And as you do open up the lid to throw stuff in, you can see that thin layer of green slime that had first been there at the bottom has definitely started to, I guess, what do you call it? Like gelatin, like Jello when it's getting harder and like thicker.
Oh.
Solidify?
Jellify? What is it? What is it? Solidify? I don't know what it solidify, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's definitely getting thicker and more intense. So it's like a frosting coat of this green slime. So clearly this is growing, this green thing, and the scraps you put in,
Nice.
you can see the slime undulate when you do it, and you're like, is it just because I dropped it, or was it like responding to what you were putting in? So
It looks just like the dishes I used to get out of Charlie's room.
oh
God,
God, too many
why?
college roommate flashbacks. No. Oh my God. Yeah, but absolutely coagulate. Thank you, Tony in chat. That is totally what I was thinking of. Oh my God. Thank you. Bless.
Venture's always here for us.
Coming for us. Thank you.
Coagulates. That's a
Coagulate.
word.
Yes. Or congeal.
visceral.
Yeah, these are good words. Okay. And is there anything Aoife is doing in particular as the evening winds down here?
She heads back into her room and she kind of throws her bag onto her bed, and she makes a quick change of clothes for her like early evening Coven outfit, and then she
My look. Yeah.
after she get she changes like 3 times a day.
Amazing.
And then she walks back into the hallway and she makes a right, and she goes immediately to like the next door, and she places her hand on the doorknob, and she thinks of a new room that she wants to make in the house.
Ooh, yay! All right, yes, hell yeah. What room do you discover when you open up the door?
And so after, she takes a very long visible moment with her eyes closed, and then she turns like the brass knob and she opens it, and you see this very warm room where all of the floors and like ceiling and walls are all just these like dark wood panels, and it has this like big wide open window that has these lace curtains that just like make the light just a little bit softer in the room, and it has this like big heavy green rug, and this is she's decided that she wants a workstation for herself for all of her working on like all of her projects, especially since the Lady of Silks has charged her with making a line for the fashion showcase coming up, for the student showcase. And so she creates a room that is exactly her grandmother's workstation in the house where she grew up, so that she can feel like that connection to her family and draw inspiration from the person who taught her everything she knows. And so there's like a there's one bookshelf full of empty journals, and one full of completed journals with all of her sketches over the year, with a big armchair beneath it, and these like warm lanterns all on the wall. She just kind of sits down at the like a big drafting table and like slams a fresh book onto the table.
Nice.
And starts penciling.
Oh, I could feel that so potently, like grandma's craft room. It has that smell, like that potpourri smell, for whatever reason. And I think hanging on the back of the door,
it's like potpourri and like tobacco, because she would be like when she's trying to think of new ideas, has to have a cigarette and then puts it out and then goes back to work.
Absolutely. And there's like that little sign that's like, bless this mess, hanging on the back of the door. Of course.
Absolutely.
Love it. Yeah, so you get started. And so this is for Isadora, for the Chasiana showcase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mistress Silk is your employer in Fairytown. But man, Aoife's got a lot going on. Everybody seems to want her stuff. It's amazing. That's just starting to happen for you. Cool. So you're getting some crafting done. Great. All right. So you all feel that familiar sensation of the house lift itself up and move, and it seems like no time at all before once again the house lands, and you can see your surroundings have changed, and you see the woodlands, the fall coated, the amber and reds of this fall woods around you that is the periphery of Coven. So yeah, night has fallen. So you have a choice if you want to hang out tonight or start. So just so you all know, we're gonna play this a little differently than standard D&D, because it is going to take you all quite a while to find the clues that you need to find this archfey. There are a lot of different options about where you can go. You have all of Coven's resources at your disposal to do this. So we are going to use some downtime rules, which, for those of you not familiar, downtime rules are a section of the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook that don't get a lot of playtime at most tables, but they're basically rules that you use in between adventurers. So it's like, what do the adventurers do when they're not out questing and, fighting monsters in dungeons? So we haven't used them before on Venture Maidens, because usually it's been go, go, go. But we're trying this out. So I'm going to say it will take you all about 3 weeks to get everything that you need, to find all of the clues, potentially, to what you need to do. So for those 3 weeks, prior to the game, I asked everybody to look at the downtime options and think about what you all are going to do during this time. Because obviously 3 weeks is a really long time just to hunt through libraries and stuff, and you do need money to do research and a lot of these downtime activities because of bribes, and you need better gear, especially if you're going to fight an archfey. So there are a lot of different options how to spend these next 3 weeks. So let's go around and talk a little bit about our general plans for the week, and then we can start going week by week and decide scenes we want to do or specific moments. So Katie, why don't you talk a little bit about what you think Lou is going to spend this time doing?
Yeah, so I looked over them. Both of the activities that I wanted to do were 5 days each.
Cool.
We got 21 days, so I wanted to do 2 counts of working on my little food cart, and then also 2 counts of researching and trying to find out more about Penny, anything that I can about her, where she would be, anything about the Enigma Codex itself, and about Archfey, because Lou has like nothing, no previous knowledge about Fae, other than what she's learned since the campaign started.
Yeah. I mean, and Rook has some knowledge, but even she has no idea and has never heard of the Enigma Codex and has no idea who this Archfey is. So y'all are flying in the dark here. Cool. And Sage, what were you thinking for Aoife, the general plan? And this is subject to change, of course, based on passes and fails as we go along.
So I think for her first week, she after the encounter that they had with the bust of the woman who ended up becoming very dead, I think that really inspires a dress idea for her first piece. And so she would spend the first week working on the first couple days working on drafting the design, and then the next day she would of course want to go into Coven so she could so she could see her new boyfriend and see what
some
cool fabrics he has to offer.
Cute. Amazing.
And steal lunch together.
Yeah, cute.
Work and pleasure.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So working on dresses. And do you have any other general plans for the week? Give us. Are you going to spend any time?
So that would be her main thing. Is
yeah. Oh yeah. You mentioned also maybe
that would be her
working
main thing, spending
in the shop with Mistress Silk.
Yeah. That would be and then the following 2 weeks, she'd want to actually get into the shop, and then, so she can be like, hi, I'm here. I'm totally making connections, and I'm trying to be a good kid. Give me work to do, please.
You believed in me. I'm here. And Nassim, what kind of general plans do you think Tony will spend her time doing over the next 3 weeks? Oh, you're muted.
All right. Tony is really excited to play with that herbalism kit that her mama gave her, and see what kind of things she can craft and like potions.
Mhm.
Healing potions would be nice, or resistance of some kind would be nice.
Yep.
That's going to be probably her first week taking up Tandy on that garden.
Yeah.
And get some funds to find a job of some kind, whether it is like a bounty hunting thing or like, I don't know, making something, helping someone build something in their house or whatever. Tony likes to work with her hands. And then after that, probably just like have a night on the town and
Nice.
get to talk and chat and carouse the local common townsfolk, because also they're a good way to learn about who's passed through and who else has heard about this penny and or folk tales about an archfey.
Yeah. I mean, and Coven is full of weird characters, so that might be an excellent way to learn what the hell's going on. Very cool. Okay, so yeah, go for it. What's up, Sage?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that Aoife would insist on having you all meet at Tandy's for lunch one day so she can introduce you to Kel and be like, oh my god, isn't he the best thing ever?
Amazing. Yeah, so we're playing here with this this loose structure, so feel free to jump in as we're going along, but I figure what we'll do is we'll start each week talking amongst ourselves, deciding what we want to do and in what order, and then we can resolve the checks needed for each and determine results and share those. But I'd also like to see little role-playing scenes too, so if moments come up that I think of would be good, or if you all think of you want to see a scene while this is happening, right? Because these activities take place over the course of a week in general. Let me know, and we'll do it. So we'll keep it loose. We'll keep it fast and loose. So starting off, I will say, Rook is going to spend all 3 weeks working. She's going to pick up bounty hunting jobs. It's what she knows how to do, and she is in her prime right now because she has basically 21 days if she's about 18. So she's going to be 40-ish at the end of this. So it's her prime window for working. It's weird to think about. But yeah, so if you want to work...
Weird.
Yeah, right? But that's her fucking... whatever the hell this is. Not quite a curse, not quite a...
Our little girl's all grown up just before we know it.
Oh yeah, she's gonna look older than you all in a fucking second. But yeah, so if you ever want to work, she is actively going and picking up bounties and would love assistance, or she's just gonna do normal bounties. So working as a bounty hunter is always an option if you want to. But she'll keep doing it, and she'll earn money each week. So remind me, Katie, you're the master of coin, right, for this group. So remind me to roll for Rook every week. Cool. But yeah, so week 1, let's go ahead and talk what do you each want to do specifically for this week, and then also what order do you want to go in, because we'll hear after each check, and you all might want to change, if Lou fails all the research checks, obviously somebody might want to step in to do that, that kind of stuff, because you need some information over these 3 weeks, otherwise you're going to be screwed. Yeah, so what do you all want to talk amongst yourselves for a minute, and I'll get a refill about your plan of attack.
Okay. So with my virtuoso thing, I can't get lower than a 10, even though I'm sure the DC is going to be really high, but also I'm going to eat all of my breakfast and take all the inspiration until I know that I've gotten enough. And then if I get enough, but we need or if I run out of time, but we need somebody else to do it, then I can give the inspiration to you guys. Lou's plan is to go to basically an antique sort of place and find somebody who's old and has been around a while, to see if maybe they've come across anything like this Enigma Codex, and B, if we can make any connections with people who know about the old and ancient in the area because I'm not going to go talk to the witches. I am very bad at speaking to people.
Not a charisma rogue.
No. So I'm going to do that. And then if that goes well, then I'm going to work on my food cart.
Very nice.
Okay. So what's
Yeah,
the
if it doesn't go
oh.
well, then Aoife will go and try and gain an audience with the witches. But if Lou does super great, then she's just gonna keep working on her designs.
Cool.
You've got a whole future ahead of you. You got to focus.
That homework assignment, oh man.
I have a career. I'm a career satyr. My God.
What does Tony want to
Tony's
get
gonna
up to?
go straight for the garden,
Yeah.
and planting and herbalism.
Yeah, man. If you
Potion
can make it
making.
like health potions for when we go and maybe
Yeah.
fight if everything goes terribly wrong and we end up fighting.
Yeah, please let this be the game where we actually have consumables and we use them.
Yeah, especially for me because with my
Because we don't have a healer.
subclass, with my rogue subclass,
I
I
know.
can feed potions to people since I
Yeah.
have the used item as a bonus action.
Oh yeah, that is really
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, so rogue, yes. And we don't have a healer, so yes, potions are going to be critical.
Aoife's
I
a
have
healer.
saved
Healer.
everyone's life.
Listen.
You have a holistic healer. That's
Yeah.
who I'm. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, yes. In the moment, in the action, you're kicking so much ass and defending everyone. You're a little busy.
To be honest, we have been really spoiled with Farah and
Yeah.
distance spelling
'Cause y'all-
spells and shit.
I'm not
True.
gonna lie to you. If you fight an archfey, you will it will be hard and frightening. So
We'll probably die.
Yeah, I don't want to do
So
that. That's the
that
last resort.
is
But if it does happen, I want
I
all
want
of
to be
those.
ready.
I don't see a way around it. I don't see how we're not gonna fight an archfey, but okay.
I have a
Who
fucking
knows?
feeling we're gonna make another fucking deal.
Maybe she'll be
Just
super
keep
cool.
making deals
Yeah,
till
maybe
we
you want to
die.
make a deal. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't know. We don't know
That's all.
anything about this penny. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so with all that in mind, who wants to go in? What is the order we want to go in for resolving these actions?
If Lou should go first, probably.
Yeah, we'll see how I do.
Okay, so Lou, and you're doing the
And then-
research action this week.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who's number 2?
I'll go.
I'll
next.
go.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh my God. Okay. I
excited.
Rachel go.
Okay. Aoife can go. Aoife, and you are going to be crafting an item because you're working on your dress or your submission for the Chasiana student showcase. Or do you want to work?
I think for the first week she'll try and gain an audience with the witches of Coven to see what she can learn about the Archfey Penny.
Cool. So doing a research as well.
Yeah.
All right. And then Tony, did I hear you wanted to brew potions for week 1? So go to the garden and
Mhm.
okay, brewing potions.
Yeah.
Neat. All right, Lou, so let's go ahead and start with you. So I'm pulling up, so the downtime, and so you all know for the chat, we're using the Downtime Revisited rules in Xanathar's Guide to Everything because they are much more put together than the ones that were initially published in the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook. Yeah, okay, so research. The way this works is basically you are going to a lot of places and you're asking a lot of people and you're making sure you get into the right places and positions to have the information you need, which doesn't really mean going to a public library. There's no public library in Coven. There are, private stores of information, private libraries, there are rare antiquities dealers, there are magic shops. There's lots of people who might know something in the city, but the thing is with research, it costs money to conduct. So before you can even take the research downtime option, basically you are going to be spending 1 work week of effort, so that's about 5 days or so, and you have to spend 50 gold pieces. That covers the cost of materials, bribes, gifts, like everything that you need to make sure you are talking to the right people here. So, and all of these things are going to start costing money, so keep that in mind as well. We might have to shift things around if you all need to work to cover expenses, because like Tony, for example, brewing potions costs quite a bit of money, as does crafting items, Aoife. So we're going to have to keep our funds in mind. So starting off, we have, I think, 250 gold pieces, was it? In the pool? Oh, Katie, sorry, you muted.
We have a little under that because we gave a little bit to Frida to cover some of our costs while we were in there. So we have 200 right now.
Okay. So you have 200 gold pieces. So keep that in mind. That's actually going to be huge in deciding what happens this week. A game where money matters. Oh my God, we're breaking all the rules.
This is too close
Holy
to real
shit.
life. I don't
Holy
like
shit.
it.
You gave your mom 50 gold pieces? Damn, dude.
Yeah.
She would have absolutely reverse pickpocketed you, and so in giving you back 40 gold pieces. So I'm going to say you have 240.
Okay.
She kept 10 as a tip
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
the
say, like, I don't
servers.
know what mom would accept that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like the constant back and forth of them trying to take care of each other.
Yeah, reverse pickpocketing over and over again. Absolutely. So you have 240.
Well, a mom like Frida, I should say.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So we are at 190.
190. Okay. So, and tell me a little bit about where Lou starts. Where are you going? What kinds of places are you going to? Coven is like any major fantasy city. There are some limitations. Obviously, it's not a metropolis like Phelan that has the great library and universities, but there are absolutely spellcasters of all stripes here, all kinds of weird curio shops and authors and artists and all kinds of places to go. So where does Lou begin the search?
Yeah, so Lou is gonna go where she feels most comfortable, which is gonna be trying to find like a very classy looking antique store.
Okay.
And she's just gonna try to find the one that looks like, you know how you can kind of tell like this one's gonna have the good weird stuff that you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
So she's just kind of like looking through the windows and trying to find the best one.
Yeah. So you're starting off on like antique row. So you wander your way through Coven and come to that like the old town part of town where it's mostly shops and a few restaurants and stuff. Because that just seems like the good starting place, right? If there's multiple antique shops, cool, we'll be here. And then you spend a lot of time talking to these people and kind of circling around who might know, where to go, getting leads and suggestions from shopkeep to shopkeep, from traveler to traveler that you encounter. And let's go ahead and roll the check here to see how well this yields. So the way this one works, so you have declared your specific person, place, or thing. You're looking for what you're looking for. So now we need you to make an intelligence check with a +1 bonus per 50 gold pieces spent beyond the initial 50. So right now you're just rolling a straight up intelligence roll, unless you want to spend an additional 50 gold pieces.
We ain't got that kind of money.
We are level 4. We ain't got that kind of money. And I will compare it to the outcome table and see how we do.
Can I use continuously every day during this week eat my own breakfast to get inspiration on this roll?
Yes, you absolutely. So while we are doing this downtime rules, things like that, you can absolutely use things from your heroic destiny or character features to enhance this.
Okay, here we go. Don't fuck me over. Okay.
That's just rough. An intelligence check, just straight up. Whew.
That's okay. That's a 16.
Okay. So the 11 to 16 target is you learn 2 pieces of lore. So I don't think you hit the jackpot for this week, but you are going to learn a couple important things. One, you learn that the person you should probably be talking to, and this is after jumping around to a bunch of these different shops and trying to figure it out, there is a antique book dealer specializing in rare books who has been in Coven for literally hundreds of years longer than anyone else. And so while most of these people don't recognize this name or the name of this book, he is probably going to be the person you need to go to. His name is Mortimer, and he doesn't actually even have a shop anymore. He's long since retired, but you get an address, and you know that he's always interested in acquiring rare tomes or potentially selling them. So you have an address and a name for somebody who is probably your best lead to find any information, at least about the book.
Okay.
And then for
Good
your
start.
For your second piece of lore, I think you are. Let's see, what would you get? Because I think the book avenue runs dry, but after a while, because you're telling people, you know, this name and stuff, and Penny seems to strike a chord with a couple of different people, and apparently there's some kind of legend about this archfey. She is long thought to be dead or vanished, and you learn that her full name is Penny Dreadful.
Oh no. Okay.
So that you learn her name,
Fun.
and there are these legends about this weird fae who has gone long since disappeared from most of fae society, named Penny Dreadful.
She sounds like she'd be fun at parties.
Perhaps.
Oh, okay.
So those are your 2
Great.
pieces of lore that you learn. So a successful week, but still, clearly you don't have quite what you need.
Far
from.
Okay.
But you get to go to a lot of different places in Coven, and do you find anything cute along the way that you wouldn't take home, just personally? Are you all business?
She is like gets pulled in a couple times, but ultimately is like, I can't spend any money.
Yeah.
I have to spend money on research.
Yeah, focus.
But when we come back, if we're alive, I'm going to get so many house decor pieces.
Yeah, love that. Future putting on the list. Love it. Okay, great. Yeah, Coven has a nice little shopping district. It would be very fun. You think, if you had more money to spend some nice Saturday afternoons here.
One of these days.
All right. So that is Lou's week 1 activity. So at this point now, Aoife, we can go ahead and move forward with your research attempt, unless somebody feels like we want to change it or introduce a scene into the mix.
Yeah, I think she's still good with that.
Okay. All right. So Aoife, same deal. So you're taking the research action, which means another 50 gold pieces are going to be spent. You can spend more if you would like.
Don't do it. We're on a budget.
Don't. Alternatively,
No, we're good.
Alternatively, Aoife, if you didn't want to research, I think because you want to like meet these people, right, and spend time with them.
She's trying to schmooze.
Yeah, I would see maybe carousing as an option as well.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so the carousing option that exists is so carousing covers a work week of fine food, drinks, socializing, basically putting yourself at these social events where these people are to interact with them. But the catch is on this one.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah, for costs here. So a character can attempt to carouse among lower, middle, or upper class folk. and they cost different levels.
Mm.
So carousing with low class is only 10 gold pieces, 50 gold pieces for middle class, or 250 for access to local nobility. So, and most of these council members and like the ones who are really gonna know a lot of shit are the upper nobility.
Yeah.
Because they're like the leaders of this
Interesting.
town.
Okay.
So middle class, you might be able to get maybe like the people who work for them. Like, so think of like their secretaries and the people who do the books, the accountants. That's an option, but you might not get the juiciest details. So it's up to you.
What would you say if I said I wanted to spend my favor from the Mistress of Silks in order for her to, put in my, put a good word on my name and say that,
Hell yeah. So yeah, I
up
think
and coming is gonna be a big name in Coven.
yes, I fucking love this. Because she owes you a favor. You did save her life. So yeah, you can absolutely trade in your big favor from Mistress Silk. And I will say you don't have to pay any gold pieces for the week. She is going to basically take you on as her like personal valet for the week and attend all of the fucking outrageous events that she goes to as the highest class dressmaker.
Yes.
Yes.
You.
Yes.
Walking in with the
Living my
big
best
dog.
bard life.
Yes.
What am I doing with these fucking books?
God, I mean, dusty ass shops. Fuck. Amazing. So I will say it is a long week. Like imagine Marie Antoinette style event schedule that you are going to. I will say if you want to bring along Tony, Lou, and Rook, or just one of them, or whatever mix. No. Okay. You could bring them to like one
It would
event
just
if you
embarrass
wanted.
me.
No. Okay. No. Absolutely not. If you want to bring
Kill my
Kel,
vibe.
you can bring Kel with you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No,
this
he's
new
not good at those
boyfriend,
things
no
other.
friends. Yeah. No, he's
That's too much.
Yeah. Amazing.
She needs to be seen as her own singular.
Oh my god, you are doing
woman.
the celebrity destiny. I love this. I love this. Fuck yeah. Great. Why don't you give me just like a bullet point list of some of the events that take place over this week?
Ooh.
Everything from brunches to balls. What's up? What are the highlights?
So I imagine like one like really big highlight of the week is like how since Fae aren't born, they're like I don't know, they do something, but they're not born. And so I imagine one of them is like this like Fae baby shower, which is like this hilarious mockery of mortal baby showers.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Here, let me get you the word. I'm gonna keep describing, but I'm gonna pull up the word I made because Fae are not born. They are
Nice.
Yeah.
Generated somehow. So yeah, so it's this hilarious, like just like revelrous, like really hedonistic, like baby shower brunch thing with like an endless mimosa fountain and just like balloons that like pop and explode, and like out comes like a little tiny like pixie or like a little like toy dryad looking thing, it's to like say like what's it gonna be?
What is it going to
And I
be?
think-
Because we literally don't know the creature type when they're born.
And I think another big thing would be like a really big like and very lavish like masquerade ball at the end of the week.
Yeah. So I will say, Aoife, just since you are here and at a Fae baby shower, you probably learn a lot of things about the Fae very quickly. One, I don't think Aoife knew that Fae weren't born before this. This isn't like
no
general thing. So Fae, at least in the world of the planes, in our setting, they are not born. Like people do not give live birth to Fae. There are only a certain amount of Fae souls. You can think of it like that in the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So when a Fae wants to reproduce, they want to have a child, there are two options. One, the most common option is they steal a mortal child or a child from something else, and they keep it in the Fae. And they keep it there long enough, exposing it to the environmental magic, that it becomes something called a changeling. And changelings are changed by the environment in such a way that they can never again return to the mortal realm. So they're basically trapped there. And the way Fae are, they are mercurial, is a good way to say this. So a lot of Fae who adopt children in this way do it, and then the person is changed, and then they get tired of them. And most changelings don't have a happy story. That's the most common way.
Not a great relationship with their parents.
Yeah, that's not great. Not great, but that's the most common way when Fae want to have children. The second way is called sprouting, is the term for it. So the other way, Fae are born. They have to create these very elaborate effigies of like a body carved in a way, you know, the Fae wants, and it's a whole magical, very expensive process. And they do rituals and magic spells. So when a Fae soul dies, so when a creature is killed, hopefully a soul will go into this effigy and it will transform into a living Fae. And so they are sprouted, fully born from these effigy things. And they take whatever shape
That's so cool.
they please. And they're born, like, because Fae don't age, so they're not born as children. They're born as fully grown, whatever they are. And there is no guarantee what they are going to look like, but the more money you spend and the more intricate the effigy is, there's a greater chance of controlling what the child might ultimately look like. So, like, when...
Very cool.
So for your all reference, when we're talking about like the Weird Sisters or like Rook and Tandy, there is no actual blood connection between Fae family. It's all found family and the people who claim to be related. So I think Aoife gets a whole ass crash course in this weird in this thing. So yeah, there's like the effigy in the center, which is this really intricate, weird mannequin style doll of this thing, and everyone's really excited, and they're just having a grown ass adult, like, yeah, lascivious party around it, and just, you know, waiting basically for a soul to die to inhabit this thing. And apparently this baby shower they've been doing every week since the effigy was made, because there's also no guarantee of when it's going to work, right? When the soul is going to be trapped. So it's like a whole
It finally
festival.
happens and everyone's...
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's what that is. So you get to go to that. And apparently Mistress Silk has been going to the same baby shower for the last 4 weeks, waiting for this effigy.
Imagine she's really tired of it by this point.
Yeah. She's fucking over it. And that's why she's actually stoked when you want to go. And it's something new for everybody to talk about, right? So you end up meeting a lot of people, because the Fae who is holding this baby shower is actually one of the witches on the council. So there are 13 witches who run the council of Coven. Irma Night Dabble is her name, and she is hoping to create a daughter to leave some of her magic to, and she has spared no expense to create this child. And she the whole time seems very frantic and worried that now the 4th week has gone by and still the effigy has not awakened. But still, because she's stressing out and whatever and spending this party, you get a lot of time to talk to the other witches on the council that she has invited. And let's see how Aoife does on this roll. So for carousing, we are doing... you don't have to pay the thing because of your favor. And you are going to make a charisma persuasion check to see how you do during this party.
Oh, how wonderful. And since, and with my celebrity feature, since creatures who are neutral or favorable to me, I get to make them automatically with advantage.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Bard shit.
Nice. I will definitely take that 18 for a total of 24.
Ooh, okay, cool. Damn, all right. So carousing would normally, this would give you 3 allied contacts is what is written, but I'm going to go ahead and give you 3 clues since we're kind of using it to replace research here.
Mhm.
So as you're talking to these witches, you, at first, when you're mentioning the name and you're dancing around the subject, most people do not seem to know who Penny is. But as you start talking to the older attendees at the party, you finally start to get some results here. And you learn that Penny Dreadful was an archfey who, for a long time, she was actually invested in talking to a lot of these witches. She, unlike most other archfey, was really interested in mortals. She was really interested in changelings, in what they were trying to do at Coven in general, which was kind of separating themselves from society. Not because of any political or personal reason, but because she had a deep, obsessive love for literature. She loved books more than anything in the whole world. She was obsessed with them. So you learn that aspect about her, books, particularly mortal books. She just couldn't get enough of them. For your second piece of lore, you learn that her disappearance, a lot of people think she was actually killed by mortals and didn't think she was around anymore because at some point in time, she went into the mortal realm and stole something, a book. Like a mysterious magical book. And then after she did that, she basically left her life behind, left all her social contacts behind, going after this book, and she was never heard from again.
Interesting.
That's the
Okay.
second piece. The third thing you learn, before she left, one of the places she spent a lot of time and like kind of invested in a community in the wilds was a town of all changelings, which is a very weird thing. So a bunch of changelings that banded together, basically building lives after being trapped here and abandoned by the Fae.
Mm-hmm.
And that town was called Storyville.
Of course.
There's no news or knowledge if she's been there recently or whatever, but when she was operating, it was a town that she spent a lot of time in and gave a lot of magical resources to.
Nice.
So that is what you learn. And that culture shock. So that's its own.
Woo! That's its own reward.
Special reward. Yeah. Cool. Great fucking way to use a favor. That rocks. See, they go both ways, people. If you deal, you can win. You can end up on top with the Fae. Probably. All right. So that's going to bring us to Tony now. But before we go on this third turn, any thoughts, Tony, about changing what you want to do for the week, or Sage or anybody, any scenes in particular you want to have, either between all of you sharing this information or something that's come up so far that you want to explore more?
Do we powwow?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, I definitely think
Sure.
one night around the island in the kitchen, and Aoife would just, she would come home and like tired and a little drunk and like
Oh, yeah.
carrying her shoes like over her
It's like
shoulders.
I've been drunk
and-
for like 3 days. I don't know if I slept. I think I did.
Maybe sometime, yeah, just hair completely disheveled. She's got like her like eyeshadows all smeared, and she's like, "Yeah, guys, oh my god, I need some water."
Lou, as soon as you walked in, she has immediately been pouring like a cup of water and put on like the greasiest egg sandwich known to man immediately.
And yet-
Here.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I've drunk anything except for champagne for 3 days. I've never felt so bubbly.
That's not a well-rounded diet. What? Oh God, I'm gonna make
It's
you a
made of
salad
grapes.
too.
It means I had fruit.
That's what I
It's
keep
not
telling
how-
my doctor. It's fine.
Oh,
But anyway,
boy.
I've got so much to tell you about our archfave we're supposed to find, and she'll relay all of this to you.
So, I mean, if she's obsessed with books, I did get the name of a guy, Mortimer. He's a retired antique book collector. I mean, we could possibly A, get more information from him, and B, maybe try to find something to trade to get a good book from him that maybe we can use to appease her, because I'm just going to assume that she's alive because we fucking need her to be. So that's what we're going with.
Ooh, and if she likes books, then I think Mr. B also really liked books. Maybe we can send him a message asking if he's ever heard of her. Because I mean, if she was looking for something special, something that she stole, then he might have an idea. Tony,
I don't know if we want to ask Mr. B about any of that and let him know that we're after this book. If it's a special book, he might try to strike up his own deal and take it for himself.
And he's already got the book
Valid.
that we would need to trade for favors. So, yeah. Also, no more. Let's get more for us. Let's stop, asking for favors for like a hot sec. It's really, if I didn't have white hair, I would be getting them. So let's just take a moment.
Yeah, for sure. Good thought, Aoife, but bad idea.
You sweet summer
scratches her
child.
head.
Lou just kind of like slaps down the greasy egg sandwich and she's like, you better eat this. Maybe your ideals will get better because you're scaring me right
Some
now.
omega-3.
Already shoving it in
Yeah.
her face.
But I mean, yeah, the only other thing that I got was what you found out too, that she's vanished or dead. So
Did
I think-
either of you figure out like how long ago she specifically vanished from here, or that anyone else has seen her?
You didn't get a specific date, but you felt like it was a really long time. If it's all these, only the older Fae seem to know what's going on, and old to a Fae is quite old. So we're talking hundreds of years, probably.
oof, that's old. Okay. I mean, I'll keep chugging on research. We are going to run out of money eventually, unfortunately. So I am going to have to work at some point to help recoup costs.
Especially if we're going to try and find a rare book to trade for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that's going to be so much money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could pick up some work at the mistress's shop and bring some in.
That would definitely help. We've only got 190 gold left and it's going quick. So hopefully Rook will bring in some money too for the cause. Is she going to share? Did you guys talk to her? Is she going to share?
Nobody talked
Aoife
to her.
shrugs and just sort of slinks off back to her room.
Yeah, and she is definitely
half
not
stumbling.
not home. You have not seen Rook all week at this point, so it's probably 3 or 4 days in.
Lou just looks at the empty, dirty plate at the table and gives a deep sigh and picks it up.
There are also some, just to add insult to injury, some dirty socks that have been like shoved under the armoire in the living room.
The worst.
Well, do you guys have any problems with me trying to go make some potions for us? I think I can put this herbalist kit to good use, but I mean, I'm sure that'll cost some more, so.
Yeah, I can give you all a quick estimate here. So to make, let's see, there's a specific brewing potions section. Yes. So the time and costs for doing so are summarized in the chart. So to create just a general healing potion, which is the base level, it's going to take 1 day and 25 gold pieces. To create a greater healing potion, it's going to take all week, work week, and take 100 gold pieces. Superior would be 3 work weeks and 1,000 gold pieces. So I'm assuming we're looking at healing or greater healing.
No, we're going superior all the way.
Oh yeah, heal you way beyond your maximum HP.
Yeah, there's a crime section in this downtime. Let's go rob.
Listen, there is. If you want to do crime against the Fae, that is a choice you can make, and I am just here to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make like a couple, but also I think maybe if we kind of go through the week and make sure that we have as much information as we need first, and then we can do like prep work for leaving like potion making at the end of the week. But we should make sure that we have enough money to do the research, because we need to be able to figure out where we've got to go.
I will say, Nassim, I think if you want to do so the garden, the community garden that Tandy is talking about, if you wanted to use that and stuff, you could absolutely convince Tandy to pay you a week's worth of work to restore that into a way that is more helpful for you. Because when we're talking about this garden, I don't know if that was communicated in the letter, but it is fucking frightening and will need quite a bit of cultivation and work to get into a way that will be helpful. So she would...
Let's have that scene.
Yeah, okay. That sounds like a good scene to probably have. So if we want, we can do... Yeah, so let's do that scene and then see how we feel before deciding what you do for the week, Tony. So... Yeah, so you all have this conversation, and clearly money is an issue, and you're thinking about brewing potions and stuff. And Tandy has mentioned that this community garden space and whoever the owner was before maybe grew some rare stuff, which is great, because one of the big expenses of brewing potions is getting the materials. So if you can get a garden space that, one, already has the materials in it, or you can start growing your own, you can save yourself a lot of money, and I will reduce the price of brewing potions for you.
Nice. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
We love a coupon.
Yeah.
We love a coupon. So do you want to go the following morning and check out this
Yeah. Head over to the Witch's Brew.
community garden? Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you roll on in, and what time are you kind of showing up for the day?
Well, she probably gets there early, or what it feels like early, since we don't really know what time is here.
Right. Yeah.
And nothing's open because
Yeah.
it's Tandy.
Yeah. Yeah. You walk in, but the door is unlocked. The closed sign is flipped.
Okay. Well,
It says closed, but the door is absolutely unlocked.
well, then she's just gonna go in.
Yeah. Yeah, and you do.
And then just like kind of take a look around, see if anyone is there.
You can hear people moving upstairs. But yeah, there's no customers or anything. And no one behind the bar. Maybe you hear like a weird bubbling whistle sound. Like it sounds like somebody breathing, singing a song underwater, coming from one of the far back rooms that you know is like kind of the kitchen area, in a language you do not understand. You've never heard.
She's gonna call out from the middle of the bar, "Hey, Tandy, baby, it's your favorite soldier, Tony."
The burbling stops in the back, and there's a moment of silence, and then you see a bunch of like red tentacles come around from one of these doorways, and an octopus-style head with a large white chef's hat, precariously balanced on it, pokes around the corner, and you hear
Hello. Uh, I'm Tony, friend of Tandy. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. Well, I was hoping to take a look at the community garden. Tandy invited me over and just wanted to see if I could grow a couple of things or take a look around at least.
And the thing stares at you for a while. Have you ever seen like an octopus up close in an aquarium? Like the weird eyes that they have?
Oh, Nassim, yes.
Yeah, the weird kind of filmy thing stare at you, just total dead eyes for a solid 30 seconds, which is an uncomfortably long amount of time. And you see one of the tentacles shift over its head, reaching back for something behind the door. And it comes back out, and it's holding a tiny, like one of those paper compostable flower pots that has like a green shoot of something, like a very young budding plant. And it offers it to you.
Huh. Tony gets like unexpectedly excited. He's like, oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I can plant this for you.
And the thing, just one blink and then the other eye blinks, and a long tendril keeps like trailing down the hallway, and it just keeps going, and it just keeps going like 10 feet, 15 feet, 20 feet, moving down the hall, and you're like, where the fuck is the end of this thing? And it slithers upwards towards a door at the very far end of the hallway that passes by a few doors on the left and the right, and it turns this handled knob, and it opens up a little bit, and you can hear the sound of like birds and, see sunlight coming from just beyond the door.
Hi. Thank you so much. What can I call you? It's very nice talking to you.
Blink, blink.
She blinks back.
Oh, you see a tentacle like kind of shiver coyly.
She like waves goodbye the same way.
And the creature seems thoughtful for a moment before retreating back into the kitchen.
Well, that was nice. Yeah, and Tony will walk out towards the garden.
Yeah. So as you do, you push open this door, and you can see that the witch's broom must be much larger than what you've seen. You haven't gone upstairs yet, and there are a lot of doors that lead off it. But as you come back and you open up the space, you can see that the building it's in is, it's long. It's like a square, enough and large enough that in the very center of it, there is this square courtyard here. That is the garden space. So you can't see it because the whole thing is so overgrown and so untended, but you assume that there must be doors that lead in from the other sides of this square. But you are looking at this courtyard that, you don't know if it's because it's the Fae or it really hasn't been tended to in like 50 years. But there are plants grown up to your chest height, weeds and vines that have crawled up the brick walls and actually punctured through like different points, windows and ceilings around. You can see the plants have become so overgrown that they're starting to pull down roof tiles, and saplings have grown at strange angles, and it's just a clusterfuck of untended space. But even you, Tony, can spot through. There are a huge variety of like beautiful, dots of color from these strange plants, flowers, things that are flourishing in this environment, even though they're being choked down by these weeds. And in the sky up above is open to that, that blue, slightly cloudy autumn sky. And God, this would be a beautiful space if it was restored. You can see, like, just beyond, there are nice cobblestone paths that were there at some point, but the weeds, again, have overgrown and started to pull up all of this. There are lights that must have been strung up at some point, but now moss hangs from them. Ooh, it's a DIY dream that you're looking at.
Oh yeah.
What's your reaction? What's Tony's thoughts here?
I think a bit of joy. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, this is going to be a fun challenge.
And
This
it's
is
going to be a
take me-
challenge. This is not
Yeah.
going to be a easy win.
Yeah. So yeah, she feels ready to take it on and just like wants to dive in, takes out her sword and starts hacking her way to try and get like at least clear a path from the door
Yeah.
and get in a little bit. Get a real scope of the place.
That's step one. And as you swing your sword, absolutely, you see things rustle from the other sides. And at some point, one of these plants that's growing out actually slaps around like one of those slap wristbands around your boot and seems to be going as it's trying to pull at you. You hear a gurring sound coming from this plant.
Can I try to
Yeah,
shake
I
it
mean,
off my leg?
you're fine. You're way stronger than this plant, but it's trying to eat through your boot ineffectively.
Listen, I'm trying to help you. She's like shaking her leg and be like, you need room to breathe, okay? That's what I'm here for.
Well, if you want, you did get a charm from your mama that actually lets you talk to
Yeah.
plants.
I can talk to plants now. God damn, that's beautiful.
God damn.
Hell yeah.
Boy, that might be helpful. Do you want to do that? Did you get a chance to look at that the magic item?
You
'Cause
did
it's
post it for me.
Pretty dope.
I looked at it. But
Yeah,
it's
let's
been-
see. It's the plant of charm of plant command, I believe. Let's look at what you can do with this. Yes, so the charm has 3 charges. You can expend 1 charge as an action to cast Speak with Plants. So, Speak with Plants, it lasts for 10 minutes. You imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow simple commands. You can question them about events in a specific area within the past day, to get information and stuff. You can also turn difficult terrain caused by plant growth, which is absolutely this space, into ordinary terrain that lasts for the 10 minutes. Plants might be able to perform other tasks on your behalf. It doesn't allow them to uproot themselves and move, but they can freely like reshape and move branches and tendrils and stuff. So this might be a good first step to getting them to cooperate.
So the reshaping isn't a time limit. It'll just reshape.
It'll reshape forever. Yeah, that's one of those things. If they're willing to do that, they might be able to
Very
reshape
nice.
forever for you.
Then yeah, she is going to clutch that large floral pendant, and think of the plant she's trying to talk to specifically, being like these overgrown roots first.
Yeah. So what are you telling the plants to do? And I think in this, so it's all plants within 30 feet of you whenever you use a charm. So this is going to be most of this courtyard space you're going to be able to get, because it's about a 30 by 30 foot space. So if you walk into the center of this, you can command and speak to all of the plants at once in this area once you cast the spell.
Can I make it to the center?
I think so. With your sword and some effort, you can. Yes. You every so often you're stomping on these plants or like kicking your boot outright, like trying to get through, but you're here and there are bugs and it's shitty, but you are standing here in the center of this area.
Okay. Well then, yeah, to all the plants, I guess she's saying, you all need to clear a path well enough for me and my equipment. I don't want to harm any of you who are thriving here, but some of you don't belong. So
You know who you are.
you know
Yeah.
who you are. And you gotta let everyone else here take their space too. So please leave us some room.
What kind of check would you like to make as you're speaking to these plants?
I would intimidate these these plants.
I would accept, yes, intimidation I think is good, persuasion, or if you want to make some kind of check with your herbalism kit, I would also accept that. What is Tony doing? Athletics,
Well, I
maybe
guess-
just
I mean-
freak them out with a cool sword swing, you know.
I mean, I was gonna say I could do intimidation because her sword is out. It's just like,
Oh,
I'll hack
yeah.
away at all of you if you
I
prefer
mean-
it that way, but it'll get really messy.
I mean, I think that would work even on the nastiest of weeds. I think so.
Okay, intimidate.
Hell yeah.
Oh well. 11.
Okay.
Oh, with my inspiration, maybe.
All right. Yeah, if you want to use your inspiration, for sure, go ahead. And go ahead and re-roll that.
Oh wow. Okay, that was worse.
Okay. Then,
No.
then an 11. All right. So as you are speaking to these plants, and you speak and you know they understand you. They're not exactly speaking back to you. They don't have any way to vocalize, but you get a feeling about these plants. And a lot of them, especially the ones on the ground around you that are the non-native species, right, that are invasive, are very hostile towards you, but they seem like they fear you for now, but they will have their day, is the feeling you get from these plants. So for now,
Like Gordon.
yeah, for now, fine. Like that's exactly Gordon vibes. Fine. We'll see how you do with this. Is the feeling you get. So tell me, Tony, or tell me, Nassim, as Tony is restructuring this garden, you are controlling all the plants. They are moving to your will. They can like pull into the ground, whatever. What does this space look like? What do you unveil as you are having all of the plant life here bend to your will? What does this garden look like?
I'm picturing like a lot of paved pathways kind of cutting into like little maybe hexagonal patches of large potting area, planting area.
Yeah.
And then that is kind of in like a grid pattern itself leading to the other doors that lead out here, like you said, like a large courtyard.
Yeah.
And a pillar towards the back, a couple of pillars towards the back that has sort of a sealed off, or it has a ceiling area over there with a couple of like picnic tables and things like that for
cute.
entertaining.
Yes.
So it's like this could totally be an outdoor space to party, and she could have even more
Yes.
business out here.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that's the angle we're trying to work.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
as you know, the plants start pulling down and retreating, you do see that area. You hadn't even seen that before because it was so fucking overgrown. But there is this lovely, it's like a open gazebo sort of thing that has, you know, a trellis roof of ivy that has grown really thickly over the top. So it casts shade down on these nice tables. And there's actually like an outdoor bar space right back there that you hadn't even seen before, right next to a fire pit. Which is just this perfect little space here. And there does seem to be like a cleared off space in the corner where maybe like a large wagon could go, maybe like a food cart, if someone was being creative. And there are some fountains in one corner, and the cobblestone. You can see trellises left on the walls where people can pot plants that would hang and then like drift down. Raised garden beds where you could do crops that might grow deep into the ground. There's all kinds of potential, and it's mystifying as the plants bend to your will, revealing this beautiful space. And clearly there's still a lot to be done, but wow, if you could get this up and running, this would be incredible for your efforts and your needs.
All right,
Hell yeah.
that's what she's gonna do.
Hell
Where's
yeah.
Tandy?
Yeah, I think, as you're doing this and you're looking in the space, eventually you hear a, oh, hey. Oh my God, you came by the garden. Wait, did you do this? Didn't you just get here? As you see Tandy is standing in the doorway wearing a nightgown, a straight up like white nightgown.
Tandy, hello, looking beautiful as ever.
Oh,
Your friend
yeah.
let me in, showed me the garden,
Oh.
and
Who? Wait, Tentacles?
yes.
That's Chef.
Oh, okay, chef. Good to know.
Nobody understands what they're saying, so we just call them Chef. I'm pretty sure it's not actually a language.
Well, all right. I've just learned to, do as others do
Oh my
when
god, that's
meeting
totally
new
the best
people.
way to, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I see you have quite a garden out here. This could be an impressive,
Yeah,
entertaining
this is
space.
amazing. I've never even, like, seen this. Wow. Or maybe, I don't know.
I'm sure no one's ever seen this. It doesn't look like anyone's been out here for a long time.
Yeah, well, like, I thought about it, and then I started, and then I got, like, all the tools and stuff, and then it's, like, really hard. Did you know that? It's, like, really hard to...
Yeah, it can take, I mean,
'Cause
especially
you, like,
with the work you've got
weed.
cut out for you here.
Yeah, I think I did it, like, once, and then it came back, and, like, what's the point?
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but as you can tell, I have kind of a way with plants.
Really?
And yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to.
I mean, I love plants. Like,
Me too. Yeah.
she, like, points
Yeah.
at her bark skin,
I
like,
bet they love you too.
oh my god, no, they don't. They, like, really, I, like, kill everything, which is, like, so weird, right? Because I'm, like, a tree person. Isn't that weird? It's okay, but I turned my tree into a bar, so, we're all just vibing. We're all just living, what we got.
Right. Exactly. Well, I'd really love to help you out back here if you think, you'd like to turn this into an entertaining space. I have some time on my hands, but I gotta work for a living too. So if you're got some gold to spare,
Yeah,
you can turn this place into something beautiful.
Yeah, she, like, drops her jaw open when you say this could be an entertaining space. Like, this idea has never absolutely ever occurred to her. And she's like, yeah, okay, you just want, like, money? And you'll, like, fix it?
Oh, of course.
Oh my god, yeah. What do you, like, what do you want? How, like, do you want, like, how many golds?
Oh, well, this is probably going to take some time, several days, maybe
Oh, yeah.
a couple weeks.
Totally. Yeah,
but-
time is a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think given the space and
Uh-huh.
all of that and the weeds, how does 100 gold sound?
100 gold for, like, a day?
Oh, well. Yeah. How about 100 gold a day?
Okay, I don't know if I have that many golds. We don't get a lot of golds, but okay, how about, okay, you wait here, or you do whatever you're doing, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
She looks at you and she's like, I have no idea.
You tell me what you have. What can we work with?
Okay, yeah, good. Okay, I have some, like, a bag of stuff that humans seem to like, or mortals seem to like. So I'll go get it, and then there we go.
Stuff's great, but if you have any gold amongst that stuff, that'd be cool too.
Yeah,
As she walks away.
The gold's the shiny one, right? Yeah, I know, I got it. Bye. She disappears into the house. Yeah, so you start gardening, weeding. Eventually Tandy comes back down, and she thumps this, like, burlap sack in front of you, and clearly whatever is in it is incredibly heavy. And she's like, the last mortals who came through here seemed to be, like, really into this, and then when they died, I just kind of kept it, so you can have this if you do, like, a week or whatever. If you can get this, like, all, you can have it all. That's totally fine.
Wow, well, let's take a look at what's in that bag.
Yeah. And you do, and as you crack it open, you see they are solid gold bars stamped with, like, the royal, like, Phelan treasury from the Eldrin Empire. Just, like, solid fucking gold. Like, imagine a brick bar that she has here. I have some, like, of the little ones, but I figured they don't matter because they're smaller, right?
Oh, you're right. This is definitely better. I
Right?
appreciate you
Also,
thinking of it like that.
they're really taking up space in my room. So if you could,
I bet they're heavy. I mean, I could
yeah,
take this off.
yeah. I just like they were on my dresser, and I'd really like not.
Yeah.
You know.
And I feel like this is something that might be a little too dangerous to keep around your bar. People might come after you for that.
Why?
So, let's look at the stamp on there. You don't want to have
What is that?
anything to do with the government.
She looks at you like she has no idea what you're talking about. She seems to have no recognition that this is an Eldrin Empire seal. You, on the other hand, as a soldier, you're like, oh fuck, this is official Royal Treasury gold bars. You have no fucking idea how she got these, but boy would people be mad.
Yeah. Well, Tandy, this is great. This is exactly what I need.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, great. I don't know if anyone in Coven will like buy them. They seem kind of weird, but I like, you know, I figured whatever. Cleaning. So
Right.
cool. If you would like this, like, yeah, totally. Yeah, a week cleaning this space up. And then if you want, I would love to have you back. Because also Lou seems, or sorry, she doesn't say Lou. She says, Marnie seems really interested in things like business strategy, and she keeps asking me when she has to work, and like if I could just like have her work here, that would be easier, because I don't know what to say. Like every time she asks me, I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's the mom. She takes care of everyone. She likes to have a strategy. It's the way she works.
Oh my god, she's nothing like my mom. That's probably a good thing though. But that's fine.
I'm sure she'd love to come work. I'll definitely let her know. And
Great. Okay.
yeah. But I'm happy to get started, and let's
Great. Okay,
get this
I'll let
place
you do
looking
that.
right.
Yeah, just let me know if you need like a drink or whatever, or you can just go behind the bar and get you whatever you want. Or
Tandy,
just like
it's so
say,
good to see you.
yeah, talk to Chef. Chef has so much stuff. You don't always get what you ask for, but it's usually better than what you ask for. So, okay, yeah, I have to go meet some friends. So if you could just,
Oh, I'm on it.
I'll flip the open sign on in case anyone wants to visit you or whatever. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Amazing.
Yeah. So these gold bars, she gives you 10 of them. They can be sold for 50 gold pieces each, but they cannot be sold in Coven. People in the Feywild, not interested at all in anything that you have here. Gold means nothing. So you have a lot of gold sitting here, but you will not have access to it unless you spend time going to sell it somewhere else, which is something you can do as like a week's worth of action if you wanted to go, especially like with Rook, dip to the mortal plane. If you all were cool with staying here, that is something you could definitely do as a five-day like work week action.
Was that
Do
a
some
plot
crime.
hole? They don't want gold, but we're spending all our gold in order to do the things we want to do.
I'm assuming you're doing it like you're doing favors and getting the right things. You're buying things, and because they do accept gold in Coven, but like coins versus like solid gold fucking bars, like there's no. It's the same way if you in real life, Nassim, walked into a bank with a bar of gold and was like, hello, I would like to deposit this. Like nobody's gonna like.
I would like to put this into my bank account.
Right. So you are gonna have to walk into an official Eldrin Empire bank and deal with this. And even then, you can't really walk into a bank. You're gonna have to find a fence who is willing to accept official treasury stamped gold. Yeah, exactly. Like somebody in Lou's family, for example, would be a great source to do this. But stamped gold from the treasury, that's not something you can just sell on the street. And Fae here in Coven have no need for that huge quantity of gold.
My God. All
Yeah.
right. Well, Now she is so motivated to
Hell
get
yeah.
the fuck out of this garden.
Yeah.
So this is her passion project for
Yeah.
next week.
So you're looking at a base like 500 if you were just doing 500. You're 50 per bar to sell. But honestly, like for Royal Gold Treasury, for pure gold, if you're in the right place and like especially using Underworld contacts, you could probably get upwards of 1,000 gold easily for these.
That's amazing. Magic sword, here I come.
Yes! Hell yeah. Cool. Great scene. And you're shaping that garden. Oh boy. All right. Hell yeah. So it feels like we're probably going to run out of time before we get all 3 weeks, but I think we can probably go ahead and start for week 2 here. So, Tony, you're spending your time working, cleaning the space, which will inevitably give you a discount on future efforts to make potions. But at the start of week 2, what are we all thinking for our next steps? If you want to strategize, yeah.
Do we want to do Rooks, since she will spend the week working on roll and however much she gets?
That's what I was gonna say. We gotta get Rook's work week.
Oh yeah.
money.
Yeah, let me go ahead and roll for that. So let's see. So for work, performing a job that requires 1 work week of effort. Strength, athletics, dexterity, acrobatics, intelligence for sets of tools. Rook is going to go with dex because she's a ranger. She's a ranger. So let's see. All right, so she got a 17 on that. So comfortable lifestyle for the week, which I believe is 8 gold. Let's say she brings in 10 gold for a week of work.
Is she adding it to our funds, or is she?
She's adding it to the funds.
Okay.
She's good.
Nice. That makes it easy.
She's a good. She's a good bean. She's adding it to the funds. She also doesn't really realize that money means anything because she's still coming to terms with like needing things, like needing to eat, and also it's nice because the house just summons alcohol. So most of the time she's like, "Why would I ever leave?" She's like one of those people. It's like, why would I eat anywhere else when the house makes things? And she's still learning how to be human and enjoy herself. So she's very inexpensive for right now. Okay. So you all are back up, it looks like, in funds to 200 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So for this week, I'm thinking that it might be more beneficial for me to actually take a trip with Rook back to Chasiana if Tony wants to share the gold bars, and she can fence the gold so that we can do whatever we need to do without fear of lack of money for the rest of the time.
Oh yeah, she very excitedly, like a fucking pirate, back from their latest.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Luke,
this is pillage.
This
throws the sack over her shoulder onto the floor.
This is a lot of booty. Like any rogue family would be. And Tandy just fucking had this laying around her house, so who knows?
On her dresser.
Yeah, and she was annoyed because it was taking up space. So
yeah, Lou's jaw just fucking drops to the goddamn floor when she's like, let alone the gold bars, but as she turns it and sees that stamp, she's like, who is Tandy? What the fuck?
I don't know, but something tells me we're on the right path.
I will continue to deal with her chaos for the good of the party.
Love it.
So if you all don't mind, I actually know somebody who can who would love to buy these from us, and I can get the individual gold pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I figure this is going to be a little bit tough to move around, so...
What do you mean? Hair flip?
Sorry, what?
You just got to know the right people.
And I think you do. So
I got so many family members. Everybody does something, you know?
Gotta contribute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, please give your mom a big hug from me, or at least a big old smile.
Okay. Are you guys going to be okay while I'm gone?
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Aoife in party like eyeliner perpetual after a week of partying. Yeah. She'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and make some potions now with the funds we've got left. So we better come back with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
So yeah, whatever we have, whatever is left, if you can leave that with us.
Okay. Here you go. And she like kicks out her little bag of holding and she like counts it piece by piece. And she's like, okay, it's all here. It's all here. Okay. Okay, well I left leftovers in the cold storage. Don't have anyone over. You remember what Rook said.
Aoife,
Oh, but we'll
looking
take-
at you. Yeah, I know.
we'll
And
take the house.
she crosses her arms like, ugh.
Ugh.
And when I get back, let's plan. I've got one extra day in my schedule. We're gonna meet your boyfriend, and there's no excuses.
There's
So
family
get
dinner.
that ready.
How dare you?
And she clenches her
God.
fist in excitement and she squeals and she's like, "You're gonna love him."
I'd better.
Oh. Murder him. Okay. All right. So Lou is going to head off. Oh my God. Leave you all alone for a week. Amazing. And
You're
then
all
there
gonna
will
be
be a
dead.
family dinner that we will do.
Yeah,
Absolutely
the second
do.
you guys leave, I like look over at Aoife and I'm like, Mom and Dad are gone.
Rook's out. Lou's out. Fuck
She
yeah.
just like runs and like launches and throws herself onto the couch and
Yeah, Tony
Yes.
gets up onto the dinner table and starts like moving around and gyrating.
How lewd!
I cannot wait for next week when we explore all of this goddamn nonsense. Oh,
she's like, "Gordon, play some music."
Make it
sing.
bumpin'.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonna be the worst, like new
gonna be
age
the worst,
screeching
yeah.
shit you've ever heard.
Have you ever listened to music for plants on YouTube? These channels will be. This is all Gordon knows. Okay, so Lou is going to be heading off and spending the week fencing the gold. So getting at least 500, but probably more. We'll resolve that check next time. And Aoife, what should I note as you are going to do for next week before we sign off?
Yeah. After partying hard last week, she's going to take a week off and focus on her homework assignment. She will work to craft one thing for her showcase line.
All right. So you are going to be crafting for your assignment. Okay. And then Tony, what are you planning on doing next week for my notes?
Making potions.
Yeah. Making potions. Cool. Good. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this kind of weird, fun little episode. It's kind of a nice way to learn, I guess, a little bit more about the world, and then also I like the
About
fact
us.
that we're dealing with the realities of like money and we're low-level adventurers. It feels kind of satisfying in a weird way. So I hope you all feel that
It's very satisfying.
too.
I feel satisfied, especially now that we have 500 to 1,000 more gold. So
Yeah.
that's satisfying. I need that in real life.
But then there will be the choice
Tell
because
me about it.
buying a magic item is also a downtime activity. So that takes time and money. So that is something we'll have to factor in, depending on. Because boy, would it be nice to have some magic items if you're going to go fight a fae, an archfey. But
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. But that is where we are going to end the episode. So thank you everybody so much for joining us for this special episode where we're playing some new mechanics, exploring the differences, I think, between Campaign 2 and Campaign 1. It's been a lot of fun for me. And we will be back in part 2 of getting down to business next time. So yeah, we are going to be back in 2 weeks. So you can catch us here with episode 20 on the 1st of June. But we have some good other content happening in the meantime. Sage, you want to tell the people about what's happening next week?
Yes, last week we had our session 0 for a new Urban Shadows game that I am running, a Powered by the Apocalypse system that's going to take place. Our setting is the year 2050 in Los Angeles, where everything is run by Facebook's Meta, and what could possibly go wrong with that?
Yeah.
And so I have a spectacular cast of 6 folks, the Noir Enigma, JB Little, Jen, Vaughn, and Jess from D20 Dames, narrator Paul, who you hear at the top of every Venture Maidens episode, and Rebecca, so Latina Scribbles on Twitter. So we've got a wild cast of characters who are going to get into so much trouble. So tune in on next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. PST for our very first session.
Yes. Oh, it's gonna be so good. The session 0 was so fun. I can't wait to see all the chaos these characters cause. It's gonna be.
And oh yeah, session 0 is up on YouTube now.
Yes.
So if you want to watch it before we play next week, give it a watch. It's a good time.
It's a very good time. Hell yeah. Naseem, Katie, anything to announce next time? Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, then I think that's all the business. But before we go, wake me up before I go.
Patrons.
Yes. We always like to take some time to say a very, very special thank you to the highest tier of donating on Patreon. Patreon is a great website where folks can crowdfund, the artists they believe in. You can donate monthly or an annual pledge. So without Patreon, we wouldn't be making any money of the show. Everything we make is free. You can download all of our content everywhere for free. So it really is our Patreon donors who just keep the lights on, keep everything moving, grooving, make it better and better. And so we love to say thank you to everyone who donates on Patreon. So if you want to be one of these amazing folks, you can always head on over to patreon.com/venturemaidens. Check out the site. Not only are you supporting art and just being a great person whenever you sign up to be a Patreon donor, you also get tons of rewards, like hundreds of hours of bonus content that you can listen to, fun coloring book pages, magic items, quest plots, like all kinds of good stuff if you head on over and donate to Patreon for as little as $1 a month. So $12 a year for hundreds of hours of our work and effort. It's a pretty good deal. So we like to say thank you to our Arnie's cohorts and our Ferris Drinking Mate tiers, which are our highest donation tiers. So I'm going to kick things off. Thank you so much, Cody Becker at Cody Rolls 4 on Twitter.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Curry.
Thank you, Muffin at the one on Drury Lane.
Thank you so much, Nissa McKinnon.
Thank you, Richie113 from our Discord server.
And in Farrah's Drinking Mate tier, thank you, Chris.
And thank you, Markali, of course.
And thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, Fable.
Thanks, Tony.
Oh, I love that you get to say Tony. Thank you, Tony.
Every time.
Thank you for
Every time.
Tony in the chat, Tony T227. You're awesome. And thank you so much for reminding me of that word. Really, I really appreciate you. So thank you. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks with this show, but be back next week on Wednesday for Gilded Shadows. And until then, everybody, venture away! Venture away, everybody! We did so good. Look at us.